Alright guys, welcome to Checklist 3. I just wanted to start off by just flashing our example storyboard here and kind of going over what we completed and where we're heading now. So we are actually at this point right now. We've completed screen 1, the setup and the programming. We are starting screen 2 right now, and there's going to be a new concept that I'm going to introduce called creating a custom class, and you're going to be creating more custom classes as you move forward in creating screen 3, screen 4, and screen 5. So this video is really key in helping you understand what a custom class is. Alright, so this is where we are right now, screen 2. So let's go to our project and let's begin. Okay, so in the previous video we already resized our second view controller, our second VC. And what we want to do now is we want to drag and drop all of our 3 elements, our UI elements. So let's start with label. So go ahead and do all of that right now in image view. And lastly, text view. Okay, not text field now, just make sure it's a text view. And you can make some adjustments however you want to, but that's not important at this point. Okay, now we are going to go into creating a custom class. Let me just give you a little bit of background why we didn't have to do it with this guy. So as we know that this guy is called view controller, and initially when we open up an Xcode project, it opens up with an accompanying viewcontroller.h and viewcontroller.m file. So these files, this view controller is already associated with these 2 files, right? So now we have a second new view controller that we added. When we add the view controller, we actually need to make the accompanying .h and .m file, and that's the process I'm going to go through with you right now. So what we need to do is we're going to create a custom class. We need to go to File, New File, and we are going to create a Cocoa Touch class. So make sure you're in iOS, source is shaded, and then we're going to create a Cocoa Touch class. We're going to hit Next. We're going to name that class Screen 2 View Controller, okay? So that's going to be the class name. We need to make sure that it's a subclass of UI View Controller. So if it's not set to that already, you can either start typing it in or you can locate UI View Controller. And once again, it's for iPhone and the language is Objective-C. Okay, so make sure your screen looks identical to mine. We're going to hit Next. Another key thing is we're going to save it to the Summer Bridge app folder, right? And the key thing is it's going to be saved to this group. So make sure the folder's yellow and make sure it's the name of your app, Summer Bridge app. Okay, not Summer Bridge app, the Xcode project. We want to make sure we save it to the folder. Okay, and everything else looks good. We're going to create that. And I want to point this out in the project navigator here that now you have an accompanying .h and .m file. Okay, but we can't stop there. We still have to do one more step. And that is actually that's actually step 17 on our checklist. We actually moved pretty quickly through this portion of creating a custom class. Okay, so what we need to do is we are going to tell this view controller, right, that it is Screen 2 View Controller because it doesn't know that yet. So we need to select the VC. So make sure it's outlined in blue. Okay, we're gonna open up our utilities panel, and I want you to find the identity inspector. So that's the connections, that's the size, we know that's the attributes. Let's see. Okay, this is the identity inspector. So what I need you to do is to click on that. And you see under custom class, right next to the class box, we're going to use this drop down menu and we're going to look for screen to view controller. Okay, and I want you to hit enter just to make sure that that's PAA, right? That's solid, that connection is solid. And that's all we need to do at this point. Okay, so if we want to make sure, right, if we want to make sure that this is indeed screen to view controller, we can click on this other view controller and it'll tell us that it's screen to view controller. So now what we've done is these two files, these .h and .m files, are now specifically connected to this specific view controller. All right, guys, this is a very important concept as you move forward in programming, in object-oriented programming, but also to complete the rest of your app. You're going to be creating more custom classes for screen 3, screen 4, and screen 5. Okay. All right, so now we are, we've set the identity inspector. We want to go ahead and create our outlets. Okay, does everybody remember what to do? Take a moment to figure out what we want to do here. We want to create an outlet, right? So in order to create an outlet, we first need to select the view controller that we're interested in. And then we need to open up the corresponding .m file. Great. So as you noticed, I selected the VC and the corresponding .m file popped up. If that doesn't work, you can always go up here in case like sometimes the .h file pops up. That's not the file we're interested in. We want the .m. Okay? So we'll go ahead and create the outlets. For this one, we're going to call it Huaka'i, the Huaka'i label, right? We're going to call this image view 2, I believe. Once again, you can kind of name it whatever you want to, just as long as you have the UI element name in there somewhere. So text view 2. Okay, we've created those outlets. I went over camel casing with you earlier. And we've created all the outlets. We're gonna look for two buttons to add to our view controller. So let's go back into the standard editor mode and we're gonna add in 2 buttons here. Okay, so type in button here in the objects library. We're gonna add a button here and we're gonna add a button there. Okay, and we are going to call this Huaka'i 2, right? And we're gonna call this Huaka'i 3. Okay, so what's gonna happen is when we click on the Huaka'i button, the first Huaka'i photo and information about the first Huaka'i is going to be here, and then to get to the other Huaka'i information screens, you're going to have the user press each of those respective buttons. Okay, all right, now what we're going to do, the last step in this video, is we're going to add in another view controller. Okay, we need to resize that view controller. So we need to go in the attributes inspector and we're going to go to 4.7 inch and you can adjust accordingly. And from the Huaka'i 2 button, we're going to create a segue. So you guys know how to do that already. Select the Huaka'i 2 button, control drag, and then it's a show. And just to make sure that segue is connected to that button. All right, so what did we do in this video, guys? We set up screen 2, we set up a new view controller, And then we created a custom class, and that custom class, the name of it is called Screen to View Controller, and it's subclass UI View Controller. All right, we created 3 outlets, and we added 2 buttons, and we created a new segue. Okay, that's it for this video. Look forward to moving forward in our checklist 4 video. Aloha.